Egypt. It is one of the earliest and most magnificent civilizations the world has ever seen. It saw the rise of great pharaohs, construction of colossal monuments, and pyramids full of treasures and ancient mysteries that are still studied today. Egypt is located in North Africa. The vast Sahara Desert blankets most of Egypt, making most of the land inhospitable for any civilization. If it were not for the Nile River, Egypt would not exist. The Nile River was life to the ancient Egyptians, and it was along the banks of this river that farming gave rise to the first great civilization of the ancient world. Travel with me from the ancient city of Cairo to the modern city of Cairo, from bustling streets to hidden pathways. Feast on Egyptian foods or sample exotic spices. Purchase items at the Khan al-Khalili Bazaar. We will explore the pyramids at Giza, built for their pharaohs, and take a cruise along the Nile to see grand monuments such as Karnak Temple, and explore their hieroglyphics. Let's begin in Cairo, where I start my journey in the Khan al-Khalili Bazaar. It is here where locals buy clothing, jewelry, and antiques. Now, walking down the streets is pretty amazing. Lots to see. But I'd have to say one of the most amazing sights is seeing the Great Pyramids at Giza.
Just one kiss.
The Great Sphinx sits on the Giza Plateau as if guarding the pyramids.
Just one look from your eyes was like a certain kind of torture. Once upon a time.
One must do on any trip to Egypt is to take a ride around the pyramids on the back of a camel.
To make me falter.
Are we supposed to be together? We see the destiny forever.
This is the pyramid built for the pharaoh named Khafre, notable with what remains of its limestone casing at the top. It rises to a height of 448 feet. It consists of 2.3 million stones stacked upon one another, each weighing over 2 tons. The amount of workforce and planning that went into building these 3 tombs for the 4th dynasty pharaohs is mind-boggling. From afar, they look like perfect pyramids. But up close, one seems like an ant next to a giant staircase that seems to rise into the sky. The sight is truly breathtaking.
We seal our destiny forever.
Let's journey into the pyramid. Now, walking in those pyramids wasn't easy. You had to crouch real low and walk real carefully in those passageways like this. There are so many other wonderful things to see in Egypt besides the pyramids. I'm going to take you on a cruise on the Nile, where we will see cities like Aswan and Luxor. I board a flight that flies down a path along the Nile to southern Egypt. This is where I board my cruise for a tour along the Nile. The first stop is Aswan, a relaxing town along the Nile. This is a great time to explore the markets of Aswan. And also to visit the islands along the Nile, such as Elephantine Island. Cruising along the Nile provides great views of the river and the contrast of green vegetation with the stark, dry desert beyond. We are about to make our first stop. The Temple of Komombo looks glorious upon arrival from the cruise ship. Beautiful carvings and hieroglyphics depict the life of the ancient Egyptians. My cruise ends in the city of Luxor. Luxor is one of the most spectacular sights in Egypt. Known as the City of Thebes in ancient times, it was the capital city of the New Kingdom, where many magnificent tombs and temples can be explored. Our next stop is the Temple of Horus in Edfu. It is in excellent condition and represents another grand temple built by the Egyptians, full of neck-raising columns and mesmerizing carvings. The Temple of Hatshepsut seems almost carved right out of the cliff. Built for Queen Hatshepsut between the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, it's hard to imagine that it was built 3,500 years ago. Karnak Temple, built across the Nile from the Valley of the Kings, is a massive temple complex. It was the center of Egypt at one time. Its great walls, temples, courts, and statues will leave you gazing for hours.
Then they bring you more. All the school kids so sick of books. They like the punk and the metal band. When the buzzer rings, away, they're walking like an Egyptian. All the kids in the marketplace say.
Luxor Temple, like Karnak Temple, is remarkable. Its 1-mile-long procession of sphinxes reminds anyone of the grandeur of Egypt. One day, I hope you can visit the wonders of Egypt.
Start your feet up street, bend your back, shift your run, then you pull it back. Life's hard, you know. So strike a pose on a Cadillac. If you wanna find all the cops, they're hanging out in the donut shop. They sing and dance. Spin the clubs, cruising down the block. All the Japanese with their yen, the party boys call the Kremlin, and the Chinese know. They walk the line like Egyptian. All the cops in the donut shop say. Walk like an Egyptian.
يا ليل يا